Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So the Wrath of Kahneman brought this up, the OMFIF document. Now this was the Future of Payments document from last December, has some interesting issues that bear on XRP adoption. First is the finaster's mention of Ripple and its ilk putting fee pressure on banks. You would think a race to the bottom favors a fast, cheap asset like XRP. So guys, he's talking about this document here, 76 pages long, quite lengthy. It was released at the end of last year, so a relatively recent document. And we know, coming into a new financial system, coming into new technology, banks relying on DLT, distributed ledger technology, they are now going to have to look more closely at these types of innovations, namely RippleNet, XRP as a currency to bridge not just fiat currency from one to another, but anything of value really, leveraging XRP for liquidity. So here's what Wrath of Kahneman is saying. New providers like Wise, Revolut, Tide, and Ripple are creating pressure on banks' fee income as traditional players previously had a monopoly over corporate balances. He adds that open banking and APIs are enabling new players to provide a seamless customer experience when making or receiving payments. In particular, he says the use of QR codes and real-time payments is making it simpler for customers to raise invoices and receive payments instantly using the RTP framework. So the fee pressure specifically here, we know that utilizing cryptocurrencies like XRP will reduce fees, and that banks just don't like that. Big banks have a monopoly, and before distributed ledger technology, what would happen was there were first tier, second tier, and third tier banks, and the smaller banks, the third tier banks, would have to rely on the first tier banks and borrow or leverage their Nostro and Vostro accounts in other countries if they wanted to make a cross-border transaction for their clients. And so what would happen was they'd have to pay them a fee, and their rates were not as competitive. Obviously, the bigger banks have the resources, so they could always win every day of the week when it came to cross-border transactions, having lower fees to conduct those transactions for their clients. And so there wasn't really a level playing field when it came to cross-border transactions. Well, fast forward a few years, now we have DLT technology, now we have RippleNet democratizing payments for everybody across the board, whether you're a bank or whether you're just a cross-border payment provider or a company that's created an app to conduct a cross-border payment. If you are leveraging RippleNet, you are basically at the same advantage now as any of the big banks. And so, this is why the theory goes as such. This is why these big banks want to protect their monopoly. So this report kind of makes a note of that. Also down here, maybe more interesting though, MoneyGram Inc., MoneyGram's discussion of moving from Ripple to Stellar and the difficulties of using digital assets. The issue he raises is about gateways, exchanges, and the added time and fees incurred here. His solution, interoperability. So again, here's just another screen grab from this report, and it talks about that. Is there an equal number of challenges and obstacles to overcome? Yes, 100%. For example, it costs today on average about 1.5% to buy Bitcoin, and it costs about the same amount to cash it out. Moreover, it's going to take several days to move back and forth. If crypto is not taken at the point of sale, it's not a utility and ubiquitously used, and you're going to have to exchange it. Whether it is crypto to fiat or fiat to fiat, you're going to have to go through an exchange process, which is still slow and clunky. As such, it's not just about utility, but about interoperability. Now, Wrath of Kahneman here states something that I think many of us would probably lose sight of, considering we talk about interoperability in a specific context. He says interoperability, which might not seem intuitive, but he's not talking about blockchain interoperability the way crypto Twitter uses it. He's talking about financial systems interoperability, noting X currencies transactions. So for him, payment equals utility, interoperability equals avoiding slow, clunky exchanges. This is interesting me, the drag of exchanges and gateways. It suggests, and here's the takeaway, guys, the coins with the greatest liquidity that is most readily available in the financial plumbing wins. XRP is fast and cheap, and Ripple seems plugged into existing financial payment structures, especially in Asia. And, Stellar's XLM is not as liquid as XRP, and this is where maybe they see a disadvantage, but maybe for MoneyGram, it's fine. I think MoneyGram stopped using XRP because of the lawsuit. They never went on the record and said that officially. However, that is likely the case. Maybe they will go back to XRP once the lawsuit concludes. Who knows what their terms were with Stellar. Anyway, wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman here for just shedding some light on this and bringing some insight to this OMFIF doc from late last year. We also have this guy's from Dictator Know-It-All. Looks like Jed McCaleb is increasing his sales of XRP. And it doesn't look like he has much left either. Only about 257.8 million XRP left. And as you guys can see here, over the last few days, so the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of May, he sold 3.48 million, 8.65 million, and 8.65 million XRP respectively. And so people down here saying, you know, he should be finally done with his selling within a few weeks now. Dictator Know-It-All saying, yeah, at this rate, it looks as though it could be within a month or so, about a month or so. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The World Economic Forum, too, guys, has had its latest conference in Davos happening right now, May 23rd. I'm recording this on May 23rd, and here are some of the latest updates brought to us by Kenwood Capital, retweeting out this post here from Cointelegraph. Apparently, Cointelegraph was actually in Davos at the conference. The second day of the global event would see the likes of central bank governors from Thailand and France, along with IMF managing directors, and they're discussing various aspects of the nascent industry, namely cryptocurrency. So here, right down here, you have it, most significant global event in years. The topics of discussion among world leaders include blockchain technology, the role of central bank digital currencies, Web3, and non-fungible tokens. And here's a play-by-play, hour by hour, or every half hour. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse shared his views on the recent collapse of the Terra ecosystem and its subsequent impact on the rest of the crypto market. He noted that while Terra Luna crash is not a good thing, that's not a clear indication of failure for algorithmic stablecoins. So not a clear indication of failure for algorithmic stablecoins. He goes on to say, and here's a quote, "Who's to say algorithmic stablecoins don't succeed in 5 to 10 years? The industry is here to stay and will find more and more interesting real-world use cases." An interesting statement coming from Brad Garlinghouse. I mean, this was one of the biggest, this is an epic collapse of monumental proportions, and yet Brad Garlinghouse is still saying we could have algorithmic stablecoins, maybe not today, but maybe the system, maybe the ecosystem for crypto has to be more robust in order for this to happen. Maybe there has to be more people staking in the ecosystem. I don't know what he's getting at here, but he said, you know, maybe not today, but in 5 to 10 years. Garlinghouse went on to discuss the state of regulations in the US and said the industry lacks clarity and certainty. The overwhelming majority of people working in crypto are good actors. However, when the rules are not clear, it is very difficult to manage within that for investors. Filecoin's Green Project, led by Alan Ransell, explained the key differences between fiat money and cryptocurrencies. And here's what he said. Fiat money only has the ability to add and subtract. Programmable money, in comparison, offers real-time solutions and fast response mechanisms. Programmable money. Okay, they're talking about where CBDCs are likely going to go. And let's not forget, guys, this was taken from the World Economic Forum's Davos convention, the spring edition, I suppose. Ripple Senior Vice President Brooks Entwistle also was there, and he shared his views on the current debate around crypto winter. He says crypto winter has happened before and it will happen again, but we are focused on building into it. So again, he works for Ripple and not too concerned about the notion that we are going into a crypto winter where crypto markets are depressed. He says, I think it's an opportunity for projects to build more. A lot of this is noise, and we've got to reduce the noise and focus on the signal. So, you know, the representatives from Ripple seeming quite confident. Again, Ripple, no surprise, they are a World Economic Forum partner. And so, you know, moving into this new financial system, they know RippleNet is going to be front and center. The XRP cryptocurrency is going to play a pivotal role in providing liquidity to move markets. In a world where there is a looming financial collapse, don't know if you guys saw my video this morning. In this morning's video, I talked a little bit about Ed Dowd and his point of view on world elites and on where the market is going. Guys, I'll link that up here in the top right-hand corner for you. I also have this, guys, from the Digital Pound Foundation, a foundation where we know Ripple is a member. Different systems and different CBDCs will need to be able to efficiently work together, or it will hamper the ability of business and customers to make frictionless cross-border payments using CBDCs. This is a quote directly from Swift. Now, there are murmurings that Swift will be integrated with RippleNet. This is not a new concept either. I just recently, though, did a video on this. I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner if you guys missed that. But, you know, Bearable Guy's been talking about this since day one. Ripple and XRP will be the standard across the world. The XRP cryptocurrency is going to rise in value because of the utility. And, you know, this has been the theme, the ongoing theme, since the very first Castle Bearable Guy riddle from back in 2018. Of course, since then, we had the 589 riddle, and this is why 589 is such an important number to the XRP community. And Swift has just been one part of this. Nevertheless, we are starting to see XRP liquidity build in certain corridors. Now, not just exotic corridors either, and not just for exotic fiat currencies that don't really get a lot of traction, but for the INR, which is the Indian rupee. This from Kashta here, just thought the XRP community would find this interesting, but the INR has broken into XRP volume as is running equivalent volumes of other ODL corridors. So I thought this was interesting. He shows here US volume at about 69.62 million. And then down here, INR, 7.71 million. Now over here, I guess this was just for another day. US and INR listed here for another day. Also, Kashta says down here, significant is BTC volume slipping to 5th. Could slip further with the euro volume increasing. The further down BTC goes, the less influence it has on the price. Sharad Kakar saying here, no, these are normal volumes. I don't think there's old involved here. But Kashta says there's nothing old about these volumes. Those screenshots are from today and the last few days, and at no time in XRP exchange volume history has the INR or the Indian rupee ran as high as it is now. So I haven't personally been keeping track of this, but it looks as though Kashta has been, and he is noticing a volume spike for INR, Indian rupee. So now it is looking to be equivalent to volumes running in other on-demand liquidity corridors. An interesting observation there. Wanted to thank him for that. And there's this too, guys, from Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox here on Twitter. So the SEC is a member of the IOSCO. And the IOSCO is the International Organization of Securities Commissions. They are an international body that brings together the world's securities regulators and is recognized as the global standard setter for the securities sector. So this is a national body looking to find a common standard for securities and any other types of assets. And so the SEC is a member along with 33 other regulators from around the world. Thailand's SEC is also one of them. They have an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding between each other, which the US SEC signed. Thailand's SEC calls XRP a currency. So am I missing something here? And boom goes the dynamite. SEC Thailand has provided a list of cryptocurrencies eligible for ICO investment or value comparison as base trading pairs against other digital assets traded on digital asset exchanges. The latest list, and guys, this goes back as far as February 2019, includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and XLM. Those are all listed on Thailand's exchange as cryptocurrencies that are good to go. And so here is the list right over here of all the regulatory bodies that are part of this. And if you guys go down here on the list, I believe the SEC somewhere down in here. Let's just look them up real quick. Securities and Exchange Commission USA. No, let's just look up United States. Probably easier to do it that way. United States of America, the Securities and Exchange Commission, also over here, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission has also signed on. And guys, they've been members for about 20 years, since 2002. So it's interesting considering Thailand has signed this Memorandum of Understanding. And for those of you guys who do not know, a Memorandum of Understanding, just to go over the definition again, is a document describing the broad outlines of an agreement that two or more parties have reached. Now, it's not legally binding. However, it's on the way to a legally binding agreement. So right down here, it's not legally binding, but signals the willingness of the parties to move forward with a contract. The MOU can be seen as the starting point for negotiations, as it defines the scope and purpose of the talks. And so we have Thailand, for example, signing off on this, stating as early as February 2019 that it considers Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and XLM part of their latest list, cryptocurrencies eligible for ICO investment or value comparison as base trading pairs against other digital assets. The MOU, or the Memorandum of Understanding, has been signed, and the SEC and the CFTC, for that matter, have been part of this organization, the IOSCO, for 20 years now, which begs the question, why are they still trying to sue Ripple and XRP? Unless they're trying to get something else out of this. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.